The following broadcast is a Nighthawk Network presentation.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It is that time, y'all. That time of year. You know what it is. Y'all see the basketball in the background right there? That's because it's time for your Big Buck Sports Report NBA preview. And of course, I can't do a proper job without hollering at my partner in podcast crime here, the guru himself, Hugh Lee. What's going on, Hugh?
What's good, man? NBA came back kind of crept up on us a little too fast, man. There's a lot of
Yeah,
things
man.
I want to discuss and talk about, man. But that's why we doing the show today, just focusing on NBA. And then we got the other show tomorrow to do the rest of sports. So, yeah, it's really good, though, man, because I was looking forward to the NBA coming back around this time of year, too. Because, like you said, man, before, it's the best of the best when it comes to sports. We're in football season, getting close to the trade deadline. We definitely can use some good trade deadline stats. But then you got the WNBA that just got finished. Congratulations to the Liberty. That was one of the best.
Absolutely, y'all. One of the best, if not the best, WNBA finals ever.
It got to the point where I didn't even care who won. It was just a good situation, man.
I felt the same way.
I didn't expect for the Minnesota to be this good, this fast. That's going to be scary. They're still a young team, too. I really expect for them to be back, man, because they barely lost, man. It was like I thought at one point they were going to win.
Yeah, the key is, like I said, remember, y'all, December 5th, a very key moment in WNBA history when the Valkyries do the first expansion draft in many years. And remember, you get to say the first 6 people on your squad. After that, the Valkyries got their choice of anybody else on your squad. A couple of them championship caliber squads definitely going to change because of that.
Yeah.
So depending on who they pick, that might change the whole scenario for next year. But anyway, yeah, go ahead, Hugh.
Tell you too, E. You got to give me my flowers on that, man. Jonquel Jones, man. Hey, did I tell you when it was time for her to step up? She stepped up. She probably ain't like that dude though I compared her to, but she's something like him though. E, you got to give credit where credit due.
I definitely will give you your credit on that one, Hugh. You definitely did call that one. Congratulations to Miss Jonquel Jones on being the MVP of the finals. You see, she was very touched and moved by all of that. I mean, if you know the story of her, how she came to this country as a young kid, wanting to learn the game. I mean, similar to some of the other people in the league. I mean, I think people like Carmela Cardoso had a similar story, and hopefully she'll have her championship moment sometime later on down the line. But yeah, definitely happy, and also happy for Stewie. Because remember, she came back home to New York to win a championship for them.
That's awesome.
So now remember, she is a multi-time I mean, just think about real quick her resume, Hugh. She's a high school All-American, high school champion, 4-time NCAA champion, 4-time NCAA most valuable player, 2-time Wooden Award winner for best player in the country. Then she comes to WNBA. She's a 2-time MVP and not a 3-time champion, not to mention her 2 gold medals. She probably has, if not one, the best resume of all time, and she still is only about 29 years old.
Yeah, man, that's great, man. It's actually pretty cool to see a lot of the stories too, because at one point, man, that formula Minnesota did, I'm surprised a lot of people ain't look at that, because they kind of shut down Stewie them in certain moments, man, to where her and Sabrina Ionescu could really get off, and that just left Jonquel Jones all the way open, man, and she basically took full advantage of that. That's what made them so good, man, versus other teams, because we thought it just wasn't really just a couple of people on their team. They had more weapons, and they were more deep when it came to people who had different aspects of the game. So, yeah, that's what made that really interesting, man. Like you said, congratulations to the Liberty. I know Minnesota will be back next year, man. Definitely got my eye on things and want to see how things
They definitely need them to do some good things in that thing that we call the free agency. They get another good big to go on that squad and somebody else that could score, do decent in the WNBA draft. Definitely see them being right up there again next year.
Nobody expected that, bro. Nobody.
Agreed. So again, WNBA season over. NBA season starts tonight. So as y'all watching this right now, games will already be going on. I will be chiming in with some of the scores as this goes on. But in the meanwhile, we giving y'all our NBA preview, the teams, what we think they're going to do or not do, who going to the playoffs, and ultimately who we think are going to make it to the finals and win it all. Then, of course, time permitting, we will give you our MVP choices as well. So that being said, Hugh, we're going to flip the coin to determine which conference we talk about first, the East or the West. So I am the home team. So, the visitor gets a chance to call the heads of the tails. So that would be you, brother.
Okay.
So I'm about to flip it. You called it, brother.
Heads.
He calls heads. So we're going to go heads for Eastern Conference, tails for Western Conference. Yes, people, it is heads. So we're going to talk East first.
I'm
all right.
ready? Yes, sir.
Okay, you pick conference, but I'm going to pick the division we talk about first. And I'm going to get into the one that's probably not going to be so good. That's going to be the Southeast Division. Right now, we, of course, got 30 teams, 5 teams in East Division. Southeast Division consists of Atlanta, Miami, Orlando, Washington, and Charlotte. Of those 5 teams, Hugh, what team do you think is going to be the worst of those 5?
It's going to be either Washington or Charlotte, man.
All right, tell us why. Tell us why, bro.
I just don't really see too much out of those teams, man. Yeah, last year we thought that they were going to be good, but getting Kyle Kuzma and getting, Jordan from the Golden State Warriors, but they didn't really do much, man. Jordan Poole went over there and was like a ball hog. A lot of the teammates didn't get along with him, man. It was a lot of controversy that was going on over there, man. At one point, we thought they was going to ship him out of Washington, but I believe that they'll actually get that together eventually, but I just don't really feel like they did enough yet to really escalate into a good team. And it was funny too how they was throwing shade at us when we were like one of the worst teams and saying we definitely wouldn't want to lose to that team. And them guys, the Washington Wizards, ended up being one of those teams. So I definitely don't think that it's going to be any better from that standpoint. And it's just weird to me, man, because we really thought the Charlotte would be better at one point. Remember, we was like, man, Charlotte just came out of nowhere, went to the playoffs, and we thought that they were going to be doing better from that point on. And then when Jordan, gave up his shares to the team and went on about his business, it just seemed like nothing really escalated with that team. So I definitely feel like those two will be on the bottom of the totem pole.
And I agree with that. I definitely say I got to get the edge to Washington because right now they just got either a stockpile of wannabe decent role players, and then they got Kuzma and they got that dude Jordan. And bottom line is, I think when all is said and done, the trade deadline comes, and if Washington is smart, at that point they hit full tank mode, get rid of who they can get rid of, and wait to see if they get a chance at that kid Cooper Flagg. Remember that name, y'all, Cooper Flagg. He is probably going to be your number 1 pick. He is playing for the Duke Blue Devils this season, and based on what I've seen so far, yeah, he the next one. He the next up and coming. And basically the bad teams, that's going to be the guy they looking for. As far as Charlotte goes, if they can keep LaMelo healthy, it's something about being a ball and staying healthy that just don't seem to want to go together these last few years. LaMelo Ball, when healthy, is one of the top 5 point guards in the league. He is a better shooter now. He's always been a good distributor. He is a good defender. If he can stay healthy, and then, of course, Brandon Miller, very underrated, had a very good rookie season. I expect him to only be better this year. And Charlotte got enough of those role players to kind of throw in the mix to where they'll definitely be better than Washington, but still not quite a playoff team.
Not really.
Now let's look at the rest of the Southeast here. We got actually a team that I think is going to be in the middle. I'm going to say Atlanta for the number 3 spot. Reason being, they didn't do enough in the offseason to improve themselves. Do they have some good players on that squad? Absolutely. I like that dude, DeAndre Hunter. Of course, they got the point guards, and they still didn't really resolve that issue the way they needed to. So bottom line, Trae Young is still on that squad. And I think as long as they got him and they are Trae Young dependent, they only going to get so far. And that so far is not going to get them to the playoffs. What do you think, Hugh?
I'm just surprised that they didn't make a move for getting rid of him or getting rid of some of them players and trying to get some good draft capital, man. I definitely love Trae Young, man. Just don't feel like he fit their scheme of things. At first, it looked like it was just going to be good for both teams, Dallas and Atlanta, when, it was kind of a switch. But just think about, man, if Luka would have been in Atlanta and Trae Young would have been over there with Dallas, man, that probably would have been a hell of a difference, but that wasn't the case. So, yeah, man, I definitely feel like he needs to go somewhere and get a fresh start. I really don't think they have much, man. They got Clint Capella, Bogdanovic, good point guard. I thought that he could have went somewhere, and if he couldn't at least contribute, as a starter, he could have came off the bench, kind of like Dragic used to do, how good he was.
Absolutely.
I just don't see a lot of those pieces meshing anymore. After the 3 to 4 seasons they had, it's like I don't just feel like they're one of those high anymore, man. So Atlanta need to definitely do so. I think that they should go in full rebuild mode. I believe that'll be best for that organization.
Yeah, because like I said, this will actually be a better draft this year than last year. Because, oh my God, me and you talked about it that night. This was probably one of the worst NBA drafts ever. I don't expect much of it. Do you even remember who the number 1 pick was?
No, I think that if I'm not mistaken,
Atlanta actually had that number 1 pick. That's just how bad it was.
We turned it off at like the 12th, the 5th, like between the 12th.
Right. Remember, Atlanta had the number 1 pick. Do you remember that brother's name? Nope. I don't either. And it don't matter. Even if he ended up being rookie of the year, I think it'll be with some pedestrian numbers. Yeah, I'm not expecting much from any of the rookies this year. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
When they let Dalton Connect fall that far, man, and it was on them foreign players, I said that's not good.
And that might very well be rookie of the year. Now you mentioned, but we'll get to him.
You see how he's been playing? I told you that dude.
Yeah, like I said, we will get to him. West Coast Connect, as Snoop Dogg is calling him. But anyway, we'll get to that. Now there is 2 good teams in the Southeast Division, and looking at it, Hugh, I think I'm gonna go with Miami as the number 2 spot because again, they did not make a lot of big changes during the offseason, but Miami is a very good structured team. In terms of team chemistry, they probably have some of the best team chemistry in the league. The Miami way is different, okay? But we already know what happened to them. When that kid Butler got hurt last year, that pretty much killed their chances of going anywhere worth talking about. That being said, because they didn't make no improvements, and I'm fully expecting Butler to kind of go into regular season like he usually do, like just gonna kind of work my way through to the playoffs. They got to get him to not have that mentality no more. It's time for Butler to say, look, I'm on a mission all year. I'm about to show y'all playoff Jimmy right now. And that being said, the key for them, Tyler Hero, it's time to step your game up, bro. If you ever gonna be that next level player, it's going to have to be this year. Go ahead, Hugh.
Well, I think it's gonna be good too for them, man. And one thing that I'm surprised you didn't come up and say right now, man, as we speaking about that team, man, the Olympic experience now for Bam Adebayo, man. It seems like when people come back from the Olympics, they hit different, man. I think he really going to step this game up. Knowing already how good he was, but getting that Olympic exposure. I think when guys come back from the Olympics, man, they just be a whole new animal, man, for some reason. But I definitely think that's going to help into them playing well. And like you said, man, you still got Tyler Hero, you still got Jimmy Buckets, man. You got a nice little decor over there, man. You got Eric Spoelstra, one of the best coaches, period, right now.
Absolutely.
I think that everything's going to work out for that team. They're going to always be a playoff contention team, but it's like, where is your window? I don't think that it's going to be going back to like a NBA final.
Yeah, and speaking of Bam, rumor has it that him and Asia Wilson been hanging pretty strong ever since that Olympic experience. Be kind of interested to see if we're going to see her at a lot of the Miami Heat games this year.
I wouldn't be surprised, man, because that's definitely been something that we noticed in the Olympics. They've been hanging out and they were strong. Every time you see them, it was like paparazzi's taking pictures. I think it was some of the Olympic team people, to be honest with you.
But yeah, like I said, they might be kicking it. I ain't gonna lie, and I ain't mad at it. I like them as a couple. But okay, I say as far as the Southeast goes, though, the winner of that division, and y'all definitely gonna have to keep an eye on this team, the Orlando Magic. Man, remember last year they came up, and then that last few weeks they stepped their game up and made it to the playoffs, and actually did pretty decent in the playoffs until they all just seemed to run out of gas.
That's what happened. They ran out of gas.
Yeah, but it's a lot of scrappy young players on that team that I really like. I like them Wagner brothers. I obviously like Pablo. Paulo. He,
Banchero.
yeah, that dude. He him.
Yeah.
That dude him. You're gonna see him have some nights where he just go off this year. Ain't no doubt in my mind. They got some good guards on that team, and I like their bench. Not only do I see them winning that division, I see them finishing top 4 in the East. What about you, Hugh?
And then who they grabbed this year either really helped bolster that team. They needed that outside shot, and when they ended up bulking up their team with some of the people they got on that team, I said, wow. At first I said, that don't make no sense, but they stole them from Denver. That made matters even better too, man. And I just really feel like that team's gonna be solid. Banchero, man, he was a really good player in Duke, man. I didn't think he was gonna catch on and be that good when he came to the league, so that surprised me. But that first year, they almost made the playoffs, man.
Absolutely,
barely came up short, but then I just feel like when it comes to that young team and that nucleus, they're going to be one of those dangerous teams to watch.
Right. Remember that nucleus? We talking about kids that's 22, 21. Hell, remember the dude, folks, remember him back in the day when he was the number 1 draft pick in all the NBA? That dude only like 25, 26 at this point. And, he a secondary person on that squad. So, yeah, definitely looking to see what they're going to pull off this year.
What do you think Kentavious Caldwell Pope role gonna be with the team, man? That's what I was talking about. Just in case,
I think he basically plays the role that people like Mr. Tucker plays when he goes to a particular team, where he's that heady veteran that kind of get them that rah-rah when they need it sometime. That's gonna kind of be like, look, y'all, we could do this, blah 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 blah, and just be that good example to them. But then it's gonna be nice, but it's gonna be like, hold on, youngsters. Hand me the ball. Let me show y'all how we do this. Or it's going to be like, let me show y'all how to D these dudes up. Now let's get busy. Okay, let me show y'all what's really good. They needed that on that squad big time. I think he definitely represents that for that squad to match.
Not only Kentavious gave them a good defender, he gave them a good-ass outside shooter too, man.
Absolutely.
Worst move that Denver could have ever made, man. No disrespect. We'll talk about them, but that kind of hurt their team, man.
Yeah, I definitely think that they will miss him this year because they really didn't replace him with nothing that's going to put them in. Remember, the West is a whole different animal. But yeah, I definitely, like I said, I think Hugh agrees that Orlando is definitely going to win that Southeast Division. All right, y'all, let's move on to the Central Division. Okay. And of course, that's the division that we find my team that I support, the Detroit Pistons. We don't even need to sugarcoat none of this. We know that's the worst team in the division, okay? It ain't even an argument. It ain't even nothing close, okay? Detroit will be one of the worst teams in the league again this year. I hate to say that. It hurt my heart to say that, but it's true. That being said, they will definitely be better than they were last year.
Yeah.
Remember, not only did Detroit tie and break the record for most losses in a row in the season, but they also had one of the worst records ever. Not the WNBA. They might as well be the WNBA. Hell, they played like that at times. The two major problems that team had, though, are two things I think definitely will be fixed this year. One, they had like virtually no perimeter defense. That is definitely not going to be the case this year. They got Bickerstaff in here. He is definitely a defensive guru when it comes to that type of stuff. So they definitely will be better defensively. You already see that in the preseason. Two, outside shooting was horrid. They brought in Tim Hardaway Jr. They brought in, of course, that dude from Philly, the man that they had in the first place.
Harris.
There we go. Tobias Harris. Thank you, me. And then, of course, they also brought in Malik Beasley. I think that's definitely going to help in terms of the D and the 3P and the three-pointers. The key for the Pistons is three things. One, Tobias. You the man on that squad. Damn what they talking about. I know they say K that they paid them the money, but you got to be the man on the Pistons if they're going to get anywhere we're talking about this season. Two, Tim Hardaway Jr., you got to stay healthy, bruh. You got to stay healthy. You need to play at least 70 games this year for the Pistons to do anything worth talking about. And three, while you staying healthy, whatever protein shakes and exercise you do, make sure Cade Cunningham do double that, okay? Because right now we in season 4, Cade Cunningham. He done got his money. He ain't played a full season yet. Definitely need that to go on. Cade Cunningham is a very good player, but the best ability to have in the NBA is what you?
Availability.
That part. So if he is not available, the Pistons are just going to be right there with the Wizards. Just bottom line, I think they're going to be a little bit better than the Wizards. Remember, last year we won about 15 games. I say this year we win at least 25, but I don't want us to go too farther than that because I need us in this lottery. I need us to have that chance to get Cooper Kupp or perhaps his teammate over there at Duke, the big man, because we definitely going to need a big man moving forward. And those two are definitely two big men I would like for us to have. Your thoughts on the Pistons, Hugh?
We can only look up from there. That's funny, too, because I was talking to one of my boys, man, and I said I'm thankful that at least most of our Michigan teams, are playing well. And I said, we just got to get the Pistons on board. And he said, oh, my God, let's not talk about them. But then we both agreed and you agreed that they have to go up from here, man. I don't see them getting any worse than what they are. And Bickerstaff already setting the culture. Big ups to that because I know that they was practicing and they'll do their shooting rounds in hoodies and stuff. And he like, nah, none of that, man. You're going to do it.
That's right.
The old school way, the way in the foundation that he's laying down. And I'm hoping that rub off on him, man, because it was like Monty Williams definitely didn't help, man. He just basically was there to collect a paycheck.
Yeah, and I hope Monty enjoys his time with his son, coaching high school basketball. Bottom line is, again, whoever was his agent, he the real MVP, okay? Because that brother about to basically make $65 million plus to coach high school basketball. Unbelievable. I know. That being said, Bickerstaff, if in the end we look at the end of the season and the Pistons only won 2 or 3 more games than we won last year, you got to go too. Flat out.
Man, I say give him another year or 2, but still, man, I don't really.
We got to at least win 20, Hugh. Anything under 20 is unacceptable. Anything from 20 up, that's a good season for the Pistons. I ain't going to lie. All right. Another team that's going to have a long season in the Central, Chicago Bulls. You already was kind of on the verge of but then you let the best player you had walk out the door and replace them with what? Exactly.
I don't know what's going on there, man. This is so weird, man, because
it boils down to one thing, Hugh. When is Zach LaVine gonna get traded?
Pretty much. And it should have been happened already. It should have happened at your trade deadline, and it should have happened this off season. But since it hasn't happened yet, man, they're just gonna have to figure it out. But they're gonna always be on the outside looking in. But then the good thing is though, at least they got Lonzo Ball back.
And here's the thing. Again, best ability, availability. Lonzo get to play a full season himself.
That dude been out for 2 years.
They can get that brother to play at least 65 games and play on the level he was playing when he was with New Orleans. That Lonzo Ball, would you get that Lonzo Ball in Chicago? They'll be good enough to at least think about maybe getting to that play-in game. Because I like that kid Kobe White on that squad. And that dude Williams, he ain't bad. They got a couple little pieces there, but unless Zach LaVine step his game up and Lonzo do the Lonzo, again, they're going to be right at the bottom with the rest of them.
Question, E, who is Lonzo Ball agent? I
have no idea. I do not know. The question is, do him and his brother have the same agent? That's a good question.
Good question, man. I think because whoever he is, he the MVP right now, man. Because when you look at it, it's like ain't no way. Big ups to the Pelicans to say, nah, man, we're not going to take that risk on a guy that we already feel too injured. And they went out there and said, well, we don't think nobody get them that money. And Chicago did. Hey, that was a waste of their money right now because, like you said, he hasn't even been healthy. So that was a good thing for the Pelicans. Bad move for Chicago, unless he make it right this year. But
right. I mean, long story short, we'll see the Bulls in the lottery with us.
Pretty much.
All right. Now, we got 3 teams in the Central that I think definitely will make the playoffs. First and foremost, got to talk about Cleveland Cavaliers. Did they upgrade much this summer? No. I don't think they really needed to, though. We know what happened to them in the playoffs. The injuries got the best of them.
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell.
They do have one of the best 5 players in the league right now and that dude Mitchell. On the nights when Mitchell is healthy and engaged, that dude is I'm not gonna say that. But basically, yeah, he GOAT like. I'm gonna say it that way.
Evan Mobley was injured. You know, it's a lot of
right. And again, Mosley, the best top 5 pick that we don't talk about enough. He is a very good big man.
And Karis LeVert over there still too?
Yes, you still got Karis LeVert, who again, Brooklyn, why you let that dude out the building, I do not know. Let alone Indiana. They were stupid for letting him go too. You got Allen over there, Garrett Allen, the other big man. They got a nice little squad over there, man. I like what they got working. Because they're in the East, I think they will have games where, of course, they play the Charlottes and the Pistons and stuff of the world. So they good for 40 wins. 40 wins get you in the East. That's why they make the playoffs. They're at least a 6-5 seed again. Let's see what happens when they get there. But yeah, they definitely a playoff contender. Okay, next. Now we got to talk about that team called the Milwaukee Bucks. Go for it, Hugh.
Iffy with them dudes, man. Yeah, because you know, is Giannis going to be healthy? That dude started to get the injury bug. And not only that, Dame always had like injuries and back and forth. But I just don't know if they did enough neither, man, because you know, you had like the Brook Lopez's, and then you had, you know, guys over there who were like role players, but now you got Giannis and Lillard. It's like what everybody else gonna do, man. I just felt like they hit their ceiling about a couple years ago.
Right. I mean, it's 4 keys to them. 1, remember, Giannis got to get healthy, bro. You starting to have that injury bug too. You starting to get a little Kawhi-like lately in these last few years. Of course, when you healthy, you, if not the best player in the league, one of the top 3. Offensively, defensively, you hard to contain, period. I really hope you've been working on that jump shot, by the way. If you ever get that fully to where that's a consistent jumper, not even the 3-point line, just a consistent jumper, 25 and 15 every night. Okay, then, of course, we all know what happened with Dame. He was going through his struggles with the divorce and all of that. The rumor mill has it that he might be kicking it with Glorilla on the side. They've been throwing that out there. Yeah, you heard me. Him and Big Glow. But, you know, neither one of them have confirmed that, by the way. But they are friends. They have said that much. But anyway, all that being said, you in Milwaukee now. Hopefully you have adjusted to life in Milwaukee. Hopefully your kids and things are situated to where you can be comfortable there and they can come see you and all of that. If you can get all that off your mind and get back to just playing ball like you did in Portland, y'all going to be a team to reckon with. But again, the 2 keys to that team that we really got to talk about, Chris Middleton.
Yeah, definitely got to talk about that, brother. He's been banged up a lot too, man.
Exactly. That's my point.
They starting to get to the point where they start to look like how the Clippers be looking, man, where, you know, you can't keep that whole nucleus together. Everybody's
exactly
one of the key people who being injured besides Giannis.
Oh, yeah, the guy that I love on that squad, though, more than any of them not named Giannis, is that dude Bobby Portis Jr. Because it's nice that dude play like he is him, okay? He have nights where he takes over games, okay? In the post, defensively, with the heart and soul. If they can get more out of Bobby, particularly on them games where they want to kind of rush Giannis a little bit, they will be right up there with the rest in the East. Because I really do like that dude Bobby Portis Jr. What's your thoughts on him? You?
That dude, man. Remember I told you, he remind me of a 90s flashback, man. That dude, he a scrappy dude, man. He got that Oakley in him where, you know, he ain't taking no.
He got a little Oakley with him. He got a little Cliff Robinson with him.
That dude, man, he just a baller.
Right.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I always liked Bobby Portis Jr. though.
Absolutely. So yeah, if we can get them together and they get something out of that bench, and of course, you know, Brook Lopez just keep doing Brook Lopez, then yeah, absolutely, they will be in that top 4 in the East. But of course, the team I think that's going to win the Central, Indiana Pacers. Remember, last year they hit us with a bop early on in the season. It was like, where the hell Indiana come from? Who is this dude Halliburton? This dude balling. I like this dude. Then he messed around and got hurt. They kind of clumped their way to the middle of the season. Then he came back. They made the playoffs. They had a nice little run until, of course, he got hurt again. And y'all remember what happened there. If he is healthy, and they got Miles Turner, and they got the other dude, Matterhorn, I believe his name is, Matterin, something like that. They got a nice little bench. I definitely like that squad, especially in the Central. I think they're a little bit better than the Bucks if everybody's healthy. They run and gun style that, you know, because they run you. They run you. And if they can stay there and that dude stay healthy, not only do I think they will make the playoffs, but that dude Halliburton will definitely be an MVP consideration. What's your thoughts, Hugh?
Yeah, that was a really good team, man. Caught us off guard, man. I think the biggest mistake that Sacramento made to me was to let Halliburton go over to the Pacers, man. Yeah, you got a good player, you know, out on that ordeal, but I still feel like with him just now in his development and his skills, man, I think that team can go as far as he can take them, man, as long as he stay healthy.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I got him winning the Central. Okay, now we're going to go ahead to the Atlantic Division where, of course, we got the NBA champs. We'll just start with them. Why not? Boston is in the house. Boston in the offseason made no moves. Boston in offseason did not need to make no moves. I like them just the way they was. The key is, obviously, Porzingis. If Porzingis is healthy all year, with what they already got, and everybody's still very much in their prime over there, yeah, Boston gonna be hard to deal with again. Your thoughts, Hugh?
I'm to the point where I'm not really getting hyped on like a repeat, but they definitely have a good opportunity to go real deep, I would say, to the conference finals. But at the same time, man, it just depends on how healthy you are. You know how it is, Ian. We see it often. When you see a team do real well, man, and most times when they win, it's because of the health. And like you said, the best ability is availability. And if they can stay healthy the rest of the season, Kristaps Porzingis can stay healthy and play, they can go as far as that team can go off talent alone and just skills. But if they start getting that injury bug and then hit them, man, yeah, they'll make the playoffs, but I don't think that they'll be able to make a repeat. But I want to see how healthy they are by the All-Star break and see if they make any additions around the trade deadline to see what they can do. It's really hard to repeat, let alone three-peat. But then in this case, you know, they all got the target on their back now. So people looking at themselves like, you know, we want to play against the standard. And right now the Celtics are the standard, so they're going to get everybody's best. And I'm just trying to see how they're going to handle that challenge.
My concern with them is they starting to get very like another team that we're very familiar with, where they live by the three and die by the three. As you know, in terms of the Eastern Conference, they shot the most threes last year. On the nights when them threes was falling, they was blowing teams ass. On them nights where the team wasn't hitting them threes, it was like, how the hell they lose to blah, dot, 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 dot. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that being said, that's key one. Key two, how salty is Jaylen Brown? That's what we're going to have to find out. Based on his Olympic snub and how the Nike people dealt with him and everything else, yeah, I think he's going to come into the season with a big-ass chip on his shoulder. And it's going to be nice. I think he's going to show out on people, okay? Particularly anybody that was in the Olympics instead of him. Them nights he end up on that person, yeah, it might get real interesting.
Hell, he might dunk on my man's Derek White. He might get it. But the funny thing is, too, is did you see that brother's workouts, man? He definitely seemed like he got something to prove.
That brother about to be on a mission from God. I'm trying to tell y'all. Anytime, boss, especially these first few weeks, you definitely gonna want to tune in.
That dude gonna be just basically he's gonna be the key right now to that team, man, because he gonna put weight on his shoulders too, and he will definitely be the key. Spite Kristaps Porzingis' injury, it depends on they're gonna go as far as he let them go because disrespect to Jason Tatum, right? He just basically I don't know. It's just something about.
Truthfully, Hugh, let's be honest. He the number 2 on that squad. I know people don't want to admit that. And, the whole racial divide with the whole light skin, dark, all that stupid stuff coming to play, especially since it's Boston. But all that being said, when you look at the pure play of those two individuals, Tatum had him nice where he do his thing, but Brown got that dog in him.
It was two people who made me humble myself and realize that. If my man's Keith Hall listening, he told me first. He was like, Hugh, the best player over there is Jaylen. And I was like, you think Jaylen Brown is for real? And he was like, yeah. He said, Hugh, watch his game. And then that's when you came to me not so long after, like, man, Jaylen Brown is that team, and he as far as they're going to go. They'll go as far as
that dog in him.
And when I
remember, he ain't the only one. He ain't come by himself. Don't forget my man Drew Holiday. He got that dog in him too.
Oh, absolutely. And it's like, what you trying to say? The dark-skinned dudes took that squad over?
I ain't gonna go that far, but that pudding is a little dark-skinned, and I'm just saying.
They sprinkled that in, and that's where the dog came at, though, man.
Right. But yeah, definitely, Boston, they'll say they win the Atlantic with, well, I ain't gonna say with no problem, because it is a team they're going to contend with. That team is the New York Knicks, for one. And they got Cat over there now. Obviously, that's the biggest move any team made during the offseason. It really depends on if they can get Cat to realize, bruh, you are a center power forward, not a small forward. It's nice that you can hit the threes, but yeah, we need you to post up more. It kind of reminds me of those days back when the Knicks had Patrick Ewing and them couple years where after he played Olajuwon in them finals and Olajuwon started to expand out to the three-point line and he felt like he had to too. Know your game, okay? Cat, you is a center, bruh. A center that can hit threes. Center first, 3 second, okay? You are not a big 7-foot guard. If you go into New York playing like that, they're not going to get where they need to get.
And he going to get booed out the building. Because
absolutely.
It's like, and he have a lot of injury issues too, man.
Yeah, then there's that.
And then, him shooting them threes, man, and doing all that soft stuff, man. I feel like them boys are soft serve, man. They miss the softies when it comes to the big because everybody want to shoot the threes now. Nobody want to be a big nowadays. So, yeah, man, I feel like they can't put all the weight on Jalen Brunson's back, man. But you already know why I feel like where they're missing and what hurt them is letting that brother Hardenstein go, man. When he left, I said, man, remember we said that. I said nobody.
Absolutely.
I said, but if Hardenstein go and they trying to sign all these other clowns, I said that's gonna hurt them, man, because if Cat don't have that dog in him, Hardenstein did, and for them to just let that dude up and walk out,
right? And then I also felt like they made a mistake when they let DiVincenzo go too. That's also gonna come back to haunt them.
Yeah, because them 3-point shots, man. I'm telling you, I think out of that deal, I still feel like they're going to benefit over there in Minnesota, man, a hell of a lot from DiVincenzo going over there because they needed that perimeter shooter, man, and to get my man's Randall, I said, damn, because that's going to be the true power forward and the true center now.
Right, and like I said, we will definitely get to that. We will definitely get to that when we talk on the West there, but in terms of the Knicks, like I said, I think they're going to be right up there with everybody else. They definitely going to make the playoffs. They definitely be top 5. But the thing I think that's going to hurt them, like I said, how healthy is Cat going to be? We need Brunson to keep doing Brunson-type things. But also remember, they're in that same division with Boston and this team, the Philadelphia 76ers. And man, oh man, in an ideal world, I would pick them to even beat Boston, but it's 2 problems. The 2 best things about them is also going to be the 2 worst things about them.
What are the 2 problems?
Problem 1,
injury.
You got that dude. You know what happened. He said, Clippers, y'all going to pay me? Like, we'll talk about it. Y'all bullshit. Philly, y'all going to pay me? Yep, I'm going to Philly. So, yeah, we got that brother over there in Philly now, but here's the problem. He can't stay healthy either. And that's the last thing you want on a Philly squad where your best player, that would be Joel Embiid, who you actually gave an extension to and paid to be one of the top 3 highest paid players in the league, not only cannot stay fully healthy, but now we know will never be fully healthy. We've established it now as a fact. So much so that they've already said not only will he not play back-to-backs this year, he will no longer, period, play back-to-backs, which means there's going to be certain nights where it's going to be like, even though this is a team we know he going to dominate, he just not going to play. I mean, he going to be an MVP candidate and all of that. It's going to frustrate the hell out you because one night you're going to see him do like he did last year where he threw the 70 piece up and it was a weak-ass 70 because he could have had 80 that night. I saw that whole game. He dominated, okay? He dominated the post, the paint, defense, offense. That dude is probably one of the best skilled big men ever. But because we know he's going to be hurt at some point, you can only believe in Philly for so long. And then, like I said, then you say, okay, well, at least we got my man, but we already know he's only going to be healthy for so long. And so you can only put so much on Tyrese Maxey, man.
I like Tyrese too, man. Damn, we didn't think he was going to be that good either. That meant
we did not know.
He came out of nowhere being as good as he has been. And I said,
absolutely
help them. But like you said, man, how do you get over there, Paul George, and play over there for Philly again? You might not even start the first game because you had a hyperextended knee.
Already.
And then, the Joe.
Understand, sometime this week, I do believe Philly got back-to-back games this first week. So guess what? One game this week, we already know Joel is not playing.
Limp leg Joel ain't going to be playing. Damn, he always on one leg now, man.
So I can't pick them to be no better than third in the division because it's going to be nice where they don't have a full accompaniment of people to play. So unless Tyrese Maxey nuts up and gets 60 that night, what you gonna do?
And the funny part is, it could either be them being the third or the fourth seed now, because when you see how good the Pacers starting to play and elevate their game, so you'll never know where you can see them. They could go as high as the 2 and low as the 4, man. So,
right.
Yeah, I'm definitely saying 3 or 4 though, due to the fact because of the availability is so bad.
Right, and then of course that leads these last 2 teams. We ain't got to speak on them long. Brooklyn, you just basically got a lot of pieces over there. It's like basically if you go to somebody's house and they got 3 different Lego sets and they all just got through everywhere, so everybody just kind of threw them in the box. That's Brooklyn squad. One of them boxes full of Legos that some of the pieces fit, some of them don't. Some of them will work, some of them won't. Ain't nobody on that squad really a starter. They got a lot of role players on that squad trying to be a squad. And the fact that Ben Simmons still exists in this world, in a world where he on that squad, I mean, they'll win some nights just because. But yeah, they in the lottery. Okay. Toronto, the only difference between you and Brooklyn is you do got Scotty Barnes, and that dude is a really good player that a lot of people don't know as much about as they should. And then they got a couple other little pieces on that squad to go with him. But yeah, they're gonna have a long season too. And then, anytime Toronto and Brooklyn on, I'm probably gonna go ahead and change the station.
And it's crazy too because my man's, I keep forgetting, Mikal Bridges ended up leaving and going over to New York too, man. Like,
exactly.
Damn, they need to go ahead and figure out with the rest of the pieces what they're gonna do, man. Because it's like, man, they're just like a misfit of lost toys. You know what, man? That team's so irrelevant right now, man. I think that they should just go ahead and just change their name back to the New Jersey Nets.
Yeah, like I said, it's gonna be a lot of nights where the Barclays Center ain't gonna really be getting filled up like that. That's just the truth. In Toronto, they got good fans, but yeah, Drake, you already having a bad year. This ain't gonna help. This ain't gonna help at all. So anyway, that is the East, good people. We are halfway done, halfway through. Are you ready to do the West, or you want to take a quick pause, Hugh?
We can go ahead and do the West.
All right, let's do it then, y'all. Sorry about that. Y'all couldn't hear me. Yeah, we are taking a break as we go to some commercials. Want to acknowledge Coach V before we move on. I hope y'all are enjoying the NBA preview we have done thus far. We already got through the East. When we come back, we will do the West. and give our predictions for who we think are going to make the NBA Finals and who's going to be MVP. This is the Big Buck Sports Report NBA Preview, Nighthawk Network Radio. Well, not radio. Actually, this is the video, but you'll hear this on the radio on Nighthawk Network Radio tomorrow at 5 p.m., by the way. Make that 4 p.m. Nighthawk Network Radio and Nighthawk Network. You know the motto. Our voices for our people will be back after these words from the Nighthawk Network.
Hello, hello, hello. It's another glorious day, my T-Sippers, and you know what time it is. I hope you have all of your comforts together because it's time to dish tea. And you're dishing tea, darlings, with Big Meat.
Can't wait. It's time to dish tea with Big Meat. It's time to dish tea with Big Meat. It's time to dish tea with Big Meat. It's time to dish tea with Big Meat.
Darling.
We are moving on to the West Side brand. As you know, just like as it has been probably the last decade, truthfully, the West Side is the best side. In other words, more of your better teams are in the West. I think when we look at the lottery next year, most of the teams in the lottery are going to be in the East. That's just the truth. We see that. So that being said, we got the Northwest, Pacific, Southwest. I'm going to go on ahead and get the Pacific out the way. As you know, Pacific is the teams that get the most talk in the league because that's just how it work out. Because think about it. First of all, you got the team that's probably going to have the worst record, the Clippers. Why the Clippers? Y'all know why. Let's look at it. They let Paul George go to Philly. Stupid. They let Westbrook get out the building. Stupid. They let Dum go to the Olympics, get hurt, and now he's still so banged up, he's not even going to start the season. That, of course, would be that kid, Cripple Kawhi, okay? Mr. Mega Thief himself. It is so crazy because, y'all, I want y'all to all do me a favor, okay? When you get a minute, go online and look up Clippers' new stadium. When I tell you that might be the best indoor basketball facility on planet Earth by far, when you see some of the stuff they got, man, I'm telling you, you're going to love watching the Clipper games when they there just because of what that stadium looked like, okay? Y'all think Jerry World or something? Wait till you see what Ballmer has done with that stadium. That shit looks incredible. That being said, he is filling it with trash, okay?
You the one who showed me that stadium, man, where they said, like, if you sit down, they will pick up how long you leave your seat, what type of beverages, what kind of snacks, the interaction when the crowd is the hype is, when the game is at its peak. It's like the cheers can sense all that.
I mean, the toilets that clean themselves during the game. I mean, it's so many different amenities in that state. I think he paid like $3.5 billion for that stadium, which is basically dropping the bucket in his world because he is like one of the top 5 richest owners in sports, period. But yeah, he got that Microsoft money, y'all.
Sure.
But anyway, yeah, I just want to go there to check out the stadium, man. That's gonna be a place where you ain't gonna mind going to see high school game, concert, any of that. So that boy is off the check. I'm telling you, check it out. Go online, look for yourself. But anyway, the Clippers, yeah, it's a lot of good kids still on that Clipper squad despite it all. They probably still got one of the best benches in basketball, despite what they're working with the starting lineup. But it ain't gonna be enough, man.
Not at all.
They is not making the playoffs with that squad as constructed at the moment.
They paid Kawhi low key too, man. That was the messed up part, man, because Paul George was trying to stay and get paid. And when he was leaving, that's when he found out they done already low key paid Kawhi, man. And it's like, why? When the dude's not never healthy, every time in the playoffs, man, he's not played, he's not existent. And that's what comes when the conversation we had yesterday, man, this comes to mind for me right now when they were saying, they asked Barkley, how come you don't have any Clipper players on your top 50? He's saying because they don't deserve to be on there. No James Harden or definitely no Kawhi. And they was like, so you saying Kawhi Leonard's not in your top 50? And that's the same thing we've been saying on the show today is what he said. The best ability is availability, and he's never available. So,
right.
course,
I mean, bottom line, yeah, you're going to get probably 15. You're probably going to get like 15 decent games out of Kawhi this year. That's it. That's it. You're probably going to get about 30 games out of Harden because don't be surprised if he missed a few games for being injured or whatever. I mean, yeah, it's going to be nice for Harden going to remember I'm him and throw up 40, hit about 8 threes and whatnot, but more times than not, the Clippers going to take you to the cheeks, okay? If they was in the East, with what they got, they probably still could mess around and at least make the play-in game. But in the West, that ain't going to be good enough, okay? Now, of course, we're going to talk about a squad very little, but don't worry, they're going to get talked about a lot by the talking heads and everybody else. It's certain squads that people got to talk about. In football, we know it's them Cowboys. In baseball, we know it's the Dodgers and the Yankees. Congratulations to both of those teams, by the way. And, of course, then in basketball, we all know they got to talk about them Lakers, okay? And, of course, we are on the verge of history because tonight history will be made as the NBA will, for the first time, witness a father and son play in the same game during the actual NBA season when LeBron and LeBron Jr. hook up later on tonight. That being said, are they a playoff team as presently constructed? No. How can we just keep expecting LeBron to keep bringing this level of greatness every year? The man is 40, okay? About to be 41. Yeah, he has the most points ever. Yeah, he is top 10 in steals. Yes, he is top 10 in assists. But, man, we can't expect that dude to keep bringing 25, 7, and 5 every night. He's going to have to fall off at some point. The fact that if you expect him to be a regular starter in that lineup and play 35, 40 minutes, it ain't happening. And, yeah, we were very fortunate that, finally somebody got into the ear of Anthony Davis and said, look, bro, when you going to step your game up? He did that last year. I can't even trip on AD. You know, we've been clowning that dude for years. But last year he showed up and showed out. I'm not expecting him to do that again this year. I'm not. I'll be very surprised if he played more than 70 games this year. It's almost a question of when he going to get hurt. And without them two playing at that full capacity, along with getting a little bits and pieces from Reeves, and maybe that kid Connect will step up and be a nice six-man for them, yeah, I can't see it. What about you?
I definitely don't feel like it, man. The sky seemed like it would be the limit for them on this offseason, but then the worst thing that could have happened is they didn't get Clay in free agency. They couldn't get a DeMar DeRozan or anybody of that nature. And then, you know, they have LA
Clay to come home.
Yeah, none of them want. It's like, you know, and it's crazy because Thompson's dad was Mike was trying to get him to come home, you know. He was like, no, thank you. He wanted to go where he could get paid at it. Then on top of that, man, you had the opportunity to get DeMar DeRozan, and then you end up getting Westbrook instead, and that didn't work out for you. And now DeRozan decided, man, let me go to LA, but I'm going to Sacramento, California, not, you know, Los Angeles. And because I feel like they gave him a better deal as far as financially to go over there with that team. But it's just sad because they didn't contribute or get anybody. And LeBron actually took a pay cut, and they still didn't get anybody to go over there and help them. So, yeah, I don't think it's going to be that good for them, man. You know, Connect, like you said, he can only do so much. As a rookie, I feel like AD's going to have to be healthy because, you know, we call him Glass. And if he can't stay healthy, and then LeBron, you know, he's going to have his few injuries here or there. He don't be injured for long. He might be off like 2-3 games at a time. Sometimes he get the rest days too. I just don't really feel like they got enough over there, man. No disrespect to Rui. And, you know, I feel like D'Angelo Russell, man, I just feel like it's like, what are they going to do, man? They didn't show us much last year, so what's going to really be different this season?
You know what's going to be different. They got Bronny now. Bronny going to be the difference. Not.
Jesus.
No disrespect to Bronny. I'm so glad that he is healthy and able to play this game because, you know, that was an issue a minute. But that being said, enjoy your time as an NBA player I pretty much think whenever your dad decides to shut it down a couple years later, you can go on over there and work with him. I'm sure he'll be working on his ownership deal for the Vegas, whatever they're going to be, and you could work in the front office and all of that. So can't feel bad for Bronny because that brother going to have money, okay? But, yeah, I think if we wait for the next best thing to come from the LeBron James household, we're going to have to wait a few more years, okay? Because Bryce, that dude, little brother, yeah, he might be him. But you, Bronny, yeah, you only playing because Bron is your pops, okay? And I find it very interesting that why Michael Jordan didn't take advantage of that back in the day when his son was playing. If anybody could have pulled that off back then, it was Mike.
Yeah, but I don't think Mike's son had as much talent, at all, man. He got other options. He's more distracted by other things right now, man. And
I get what you're saying. He might have skills on other levels. We'll leave it at that.
That's crazy too, man. Like it's bad timing on that brother's part, man.
Right.
He's watching you, man, and
it's funny that we bringing that up because remember another person on that Lakers squad, Scottie Pippen Jr.
Yeah,
but,
man. It's
like I think he's gonna end up with more playing time than Bronny, but that's a whole nother story. Bottom line is, the Lakers gonna get talked about. I mean, the thing is, the Lakers being the Lakers, they'll probably make some type of deal to keep them semi-relevant. Then, of course, remember, we got in that division also the Golden State Warriors. Now, friends and neighbors, I am a Golden State Warrior fan. I admit it. Of course, I want my dude, Steph Curry, to do well, okay? And he will. Unlike some people, I like that dude, Draymond. Do I agree with everything he do? Hell no.
That dude's insane.
But when you sit down and actually listen to that, brother, especially if you are one of the people that listen to his podcast, he knows basketball. He is a defensive guru, okay? But he's also an a-hole and stupid. That being said, Golden State only go as far as he goes, okay? Because, they got some good people on that bench. They got some good youngsters on that squad. Kuminga, it's time for you to step your game up. If they are going to go anywhere, it's time for you to be a front line, 20-point-a-night player. Pavinsky, the kid without pigment. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. But y'all know what I'm saying. That dude's a good player. It's time for you to show that, okay, we ain't going to miss Clay because I'm here. And one of those other kids, Mooney, whoever, it's time for you to step your game up and show that you ready to do one last run. Bottom line is, this is it for Golden State, as far as I'm concerned. This is their last good go-around. From this point on, they're going to be a lottery team after this year. I honestly feel that. If they have any hopes of winning one more ring, it's this year. And that being said, it ain't happening. Hugh?
I don't think it's going to be a lot going on with them neither, man. After last season, I said that was it for them, man. They won their championships, and they played well when they did win those championships. You got Draymond still, man, over there. But like you said, they go as far as he take them. Buddy Hield, what is he going to do? Because he didn't do anything. He was so bad over there with the 76ers, man. We didn't even know he was over there. Like, he was on the milk carton, man. And it's time for, like you said, the young guys like the Moody's, the Kumingas, and all the other people who are the young talent now to step up.
Right. That kid Davis out of Indiana, it's time for all them to show and prove. Because otherwise, I mean, do they make the playoffs?
I don't believe so.
I don't think so either. I really don't. But they will get talked about a lot because, again, they Golden State, and they got one of the best players on the planet on that squad. Okay, now, that leaves us two teams in that division that will more than likely win the division. One of them, Phoenix Suns. KD, you started to have an injury bug too, my friend. It's starting to mess up you. We already know when you play, you dominate. Can't nobody stop you offensively. We know that. And you are a good defender. People don't give you enough credit for that. But again, if you ain't available more than 50 games a year, there's only so much you can do. That being said, I need you to take a back seat, sir. You are not that guy on that squad. That guy is Devin Booker. And I need you to step up. I need y'all to sit in somebody's room and establish, just like how LeBron and D-Wade had to do back in the day. Look, man, I understand you was sort of this your squad, but I'm gonna follow you, bruh. You the man. I'm gonna be Robin. Okay. That being said, I then need them to pull in the room that other dude. Y'all know who I'm talking about. That kid that came out of the Wizard squad. And you thought, oh yeah, they got him now. Oh, they about to dominate.
Young
Yeah, Bradley Beal, a dominator. And bro, I need you to understand, you is number 3 now. Okay, act like it, play like it, accept your role. Accept your role, brother. You the point guard. Damn all this other stuff that I tried last year. Make that dude the point guard. Put Book back in shooting guard where he belongs, and let Durant do him. Okay. And then after they get them 3 together, I need them to bring the big fella in. What big fella you talking about? I'm talking about that dude Bobo. Remember that dude Bobo? Y'all don't remember that dude Bobo because I'm telling you. That kid got something, okay? If they could get him in the gym, if they could get his mind right. Charles Barkley told y'all last year, the problem with Bobo is that dude lazy. If that dude applied himself, he could be the person they was talking about instead of Wemby. He was Wemby before Wemby was Wemby. But he was lazy and didn't develop it. You develop your talent, Bobo, this team could go places. You got them 3 going, and then Bobo come and end up being a starter on that squad. For real, they a dangerous squad. Your thoughts, Hugh?
I definitely feel that way because remember when Shaq and Barkley said it, man, how good of a talent Bobo is. It's just he lazy and he don't really give it his all. If you just get him to give his all and play and execute on that team and have him as a big man on that team, they'll be dangerous, man. And on top of that, like you said, have Bradley Beal be the point guard. Let Book cook at the 2.
Let Book cook. I like that. I like that.
And then have your mans as a small forward, man. Play like a small forward, man. Stop trying to, shoot all them threes and stuff. I mean, when it's available, I say take it. I'm not saying don't take any at all, but damn, Kev, you 7 feet, man. You should be doing more of the perimeter to help out. But yeah,
one of the best things LeBron did when he got in his 30s was started developing that post game. If you don't got one, I suggest you go ahead and hit down there to Houston and talk to my man, the guru of the big man, Akeem Olajuwon, have him teach you some of that dream shape.
Because they definitely need him, man. And I feel like sometimes when they need KD at his best, man, he just end up going missing, man, or he just get out the way. And when people be so critical of him, man, you got to understand when it ain't his team, he just automatically took his game to a whole nother level when he didn't have that pressure on him. But when the pressure's on him, we see what he did with the Nets, and we starting to see what he's doing with Phoenix, man. And that's not really a good look for him and his legacy. So I'm definitely hoping that he can get it together, man, in that team because they got too much talent over there to be getting bounced out in the first, second round, man. I'm definitely interested in seeing what they're going to do this season.
Absolutely. But yeah, I definitely see them as a playoff team.
Yeah, I agree.
Sacramento Kings. That's the team I think is going to win this particular division. People slept on Sacramento because last year they slept on themselves. I don't know what happened between the year before and last year to where suddenly defensively they wasn't quite as good. They still was a decent shooting team, but the defense kind of took a back seat. That being said, I think it's really 2 hot seats this year in the NBA. Truth be told. And one of them hot seats, Mike Brown is on, okay? Sacramento got to step their game up to that next level. If Sacramento is not a top 3 seed this year, I think he's fired outright because they were already on the verge of that the year before, and they took a step down. If they don't finish in the top 3 this year, he got to go. What's your thoughts, Hugh?
Surprised me last year too, man, because remember we thought that they were only going to do better. We definitely figured that they was going to beat out Golden State, but we seen how they went toe-to-toe with Golden State when Golden State was still, relevant almost to that end part of Golden State when they was going to blow the blow with them. When you seen Sabonis and you seen, De'Aaron Fox and all those guys step their game up, and it was.
Because think about it, Hugh. They got Fox and DeRozan. That should be enough to win more nights than not.
Dude, and then that's the crazy part, man. When he went over there to that team, I said, man, they're only going to be better now. Now you got Sabonis, Fox, and that dude, man. You don't need all them threes when you got the perimeter king over there now.
Right. And don't forget that dude, Keegan Murray. I need him to step his game up too.
Keegan Murray, man, it was like they just really have a really good thing going over there, man. They got a really solid squad, man. And Mike Brown instilled that into him, man. And it was funny because he got some of that nucleus from being with Golden State. And he basically got a younger Golden State team now, man. They need to just show and prove now because they definitely went down a little bit. I think they might have that the year when they went toe-to-toe with Golden State, they probably overexceeded then, and then they came back down to reality this year. But now I'm just thinking they're going to elevate their game to the next level now. And if they can't do that, then it's time to replace Mike Brown, unfortunately. But I definitely feel like they will prove themselves this year and be
like if they don't win the Pacific Division and ain't in that top three, Mike got to go flat. All right, let's go on here to the Northwest Division. And of course, the team that's been winning that division more times than not is the Denver Nuggets. I agree with Hughes' assessment earlier in the show. Denver, you made a mistake by letting KCP lead the building. You shouldn't have did it. You were smart to re-up on Aaron Gordon, however. That was a good move. But the key for that squad is two things, Hugh. Well, three. One, I need Mr. Murray to be healthy, okay? We already know that's been a problem the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Okay, two, I just need my man to maintain. We already know he is the MVP candidate right now, and they ain't played not one game, okay? Because on any given night, he got a game that you just can't stop, okay? He ain't no big jumper. His shot is just what it is. But in the end, he can play outside, he can play inside. He's a good distributor of the ball. He the man. Ever since he went into the bubble that year and said, you know what? I'm about to start this Thelman and working out and get myself together, and I'm going to be a whole different player. And he has been, okay? He is the key. He does that, and everybody else stay healthy. They making the playoffs. That's a given.
Facts.
The key is when they get there, that's when he's going to need some help. Okay? Aaron Gordon, it's time for you to step your game up too. You have games where you disappear, and the games where you don't disappear, then your partner in crime over there, Porter Jr., he disappears.
God.
All four of them is on the same page any given night. They dominate 90% of the teams in the league.
Hey, man, you got to stop with all this light skin crime, man. You know, you giving them guys a hard time, man. But it's funny you saying that though, because Michael Porter Jr. was a really big upset, man. But you know what hurted me the most, man? I really was interested and intrigued in seeing how well Minnesota played them. But we know, too, the people in Minnesota right now, when they got over there, one of the execs ended up leaving Denver and going over there. And they basically got a team to beat Denver. But then after that, they froze, man. They didn't act like they know how the hell to play after they beat Denver. Like, you know, they already won a championship. And that's when Dallas took full advantage. But, yeah, you know,
right. And since we talk about Minnesota, we can go to them next. Okay. Yeah, we already know what the key to Minnesota is. You know, already let my mans go. Okay, Anthony, it's your squad now, big dog. It's all you, bruh. You the man. You got to, hey, you've been running your lips. It's time to show and prove. Everybody been calling you Baby Jordan and all that. Time for you to step your game up.
What I believe too, going back to Denver for a second, like you said, you was right. Michael Porter Jr. got to step his game up. Aaron Gordon got to play when they gave you all this money today, man. I was surprised, like, oh man, they waited till the very beginning, right? Kickoff to pay him. You got to put worth now, man. I just don't feel like he's doing enough. Like you said, Jokic gonna do what Jokic do. Everybody else. Step up and play their game, and if they could do that, like I think they'll go to the playoffs. But Caldwell Pope, man, they're missing that dude, man, and that's why I believe is going.
It will be nice, but they definitely missed that brother's presence in the lineup. I do
respect Russ, and I feel like Russ showed us a whole different Russ when he was over there with the Clippers. If he still got some of that left in him, I think that they'll go places in the playoffs, but I don't think they'll be a championship caliber team.
And again, the reason why I think that might be more of a detriment than an ad because Russ have a hard time fitting in.
Yeah.
If Russ ain't that dude, he have a hard time. And on that squad, make no mistake, Russ, you are a future Hall of Famer, but you was not that dude. You ain't even the dude next to the damn dude on that squad. Know your role and shut your mouth. What are you showing me there, Hugh?
I don't think you can see it.
Cannot.
I'm gonna have to send it to you, man. I think this time it was on him. They got these free J-Mo t-shirts they selling now.
Oh no. Oh Lord. Well, we'll definitely get into that tomorrow on the show.
But yeah, going back to Minnesota, like you were saying, I'm on Minnesota now.
Yep.
They better do something with that squad. Because remember when I first saw the trade, what I tell you, I said, yeah, Cat gonna make wonders for New York. I said, I don't know, man. I think Minnesota gonna make a living off of this. Because now they got a guy, and well, I said it a little earlier, they got a dude who can play the power forward when he's healthy, and he could be one of the best power forwards in the game, top 5 for sure. But then you have Rudy Gobert playing his position, and he won't have to play outside his position. He know who he'll have to check.
I just need Rudy Gobert to be an offensive threat. If they can do that much, that's going to get them 3-4 more wins. I mean, Rudy going to play decent defense most nights. He's the, I mean, I'm sorry, you 7-2. In this league, in this day and age, you should at least be able to get enough rebounds where you throw in a quick 10. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said about Randall, speaking of somebody that's going to have a big-ass chip on their shoulder this year, oh, trust me, he going to feel some type of way about getting traded from New York. So it's going to be some nice year. He going to take over, too.
Because they did him dirty, man. All he wanted was an extension. And then when they didn't want to give him what he felt like he was worth, that's when they made that trade. You know that guy felt betrayed on that, man.
Right. But Anthony Edwards, like I said, it's your time, bro. If this is supposed to be your league and all that. And, yeah, I found it very interesting, his comments, by the way. I don't know if you saw them, but he said, yeah, if I could win a championship in the next couple of years, I think at that point I might want to shut it down and get my try with the NFL. That would be interesting if he actually pulls that off.
Really would be, man, because we heard about that. NBA, NFL, beef at one point, man. It was pretty interesting, but yeah, I would like to see that, man. See how that would escalate. But they do a lot of good stuff over there, man. A lot of talent over there with Minnesota, man. But I just don't know how far they'll get right now. They'll be in the top 5 in the West, but would that get them to the next level? Or even to a championship. I don't think
that dude Nazi Muhammad, he's definitely gonna be a factor for them as well. We'll see how they get. Like I said, I think again, Anthony Edwards gonna have to step up, and definitely Randall, he gonna have to show that y'all messed up. All right, so that's that much. Then of course, now we can't forget about this team over there in the Northwest. The team that I think you really need to keep an eye on. In fact, I'm gonna give y'all a little preview. I think this is my team. I think may actually make it out the West this year. OKC Thunder.
I like the OKC Thunder, man. I was just talking to you about it recently. What I like about them is, the Hartenstein whole hookup, man, and getting Caruso over there. They already had a good team. The problem was when they're being number one, getting put out like they did. They didn't have no veterans or no savvy people over there who can help escalate them and elevate their game to the next level. Now you got a Caruso. Alex Caruso always been decent. Even with the Lakers, I felt like that was still a bad move that they let that brother leave out that building. But then now you got a guy who can rebound over there for you, man. Yeah, no disrespect to Connect, man. We all know that he was going to be pretty good. But I just still feel like now when you got a true guy who's going to grab rebounds, you can let Komet do his thing. And then now not only that, you have Hartenstein in the middle grabbing rebounds. You
don't get that dude Holmgren, man.
Alexander, man. But yeah, it's like they got a really good squad over there, man. Holmgren will only get better. And you see he's starting to bulk up too, man. So they're really taking this year seriously, man. A lot of people got OKC coming out the West right now, man. And I feel like right now they played above their talent last year, but I think they're only going to get better because Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, that dude is out cold, man. And I feel like with the pieces around him, and then having a savvy veteran like Russo, then you got Hungram, you got Hartenstein, man. It's like that whole roster's loaded. And what's my man's name? The defensive cat, man. Will be putting
Dort.
Yeah, they got a really good team over there, man. And this year, I definitely feel like at the least, man, they're going to go back at least top 1 or 2, man.
Right. And then they got the Williams over there, the Jay Will, and the other Jay Will. Like I said, they're a really scrappy squad. It's gonna be some nice where they're gonna come and they're gonna show out in your building. Okay, I really say they win 50 games each. I think they're definitely gonna be a 1 or 2 seed.
You know how I separate them, man, and I ain't trying to be funny, but we've been on this and joking about it all day. Light-skinned Williams, dark-skinned Williams.
I mean, I hate that we like that as a country, as people, but it works sometimes. Sometimes it works. I'm pretty sure in OKC they do the same thing. Oh, yeah, light-skinned Williams? Yeah, I mess with him. Okay. Then, of course, Utah. Utah's the one team in the league. I don't know what we gonna get from them. I don't even really know what I could really say. I mean, marketing, that dude, the real. Okay, I hate he ended up kind of being stuck there.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to have seen the Lakers get him, but
stay.
Yeah. Outside of that, they got a few people on that squad, obviously.
They hurt last year, because I had high hopes for that squad. Remember how good John Collins for the Hawks, and then you got Markin in it. You had all these Sexton.
You got Clarkson. I mean, that dude could ball. I mean, I just don't know what we're gonna get from them.
I don't know neither, man. I'm definitely disappointed in them, man. I thought they'd be better, man. It seems like
and y'all remember Portland Trailblazers? Y'all remember that squad? Y'all remember how they played last year? Do you see them being any better this year?
Not really, man.
Me neither. They'll be good for a West team, I guess. But yeah, I expect them to have a nice little spot in the lottery. We don't need to talk about them no further.
He's gonna do a little better, man. But I don't.
Yeah, I mean, Scooty, he'll do his thing, but yeah, they definitely missing Lillard and CJ McCollum. And that being said, that leads us to the last division in the West, the Southwest. Okay, first of all, let's talk about the team that's probably still gonna finish last. That'll be San Antonio. Yeah. We definitely gonna watch San Antonio because we still want to see what Wemby gonna do. I mean, we see he definitely been putting his work in this offseason. You've seen him. You see he got a little diesel, at least for somebody 7'5". So yeah, if he didn't work on his game and whatnot, the thing I'm looking forward to is the fact that the handcuffs is off of him this year. Remember last year they would only let him play so many minutes, so many games. Pop said, yeah, it's all good this year. So I'm curious to see what he's going to do. Paul, he's going to be definitely good influence on him in that squad, but they still just don't have nothing else beyond the rim of him.
And you might get a little bit of something every now and then out of Harrison Barnes because I forgot he was over there.
Yeah, I did forget that, but yeah, that still ain't going.
I don't feel like that's going to be that much impactful, man.
Yeah, bottom line, they're a lottery team, and I ain't going to lie. I'm going to be real mad if we look up next year and they got Wemby and Cooper Flag. That ain't even going to be fair.
Because what I look at with them, it's going to be fun to watch, like you said, because they got CP3. It seems like CP3 always that guy, the teacher, the elevator. And then they just move him on, man. I think after this might be the last run for CP3, though, man.
Yeah, I think next we'll see CP3 either on TV or basically somewhere coaching his son.
Yeah,
pretty much.
So, yeah, I don't really see.
Or his podcast, whatever the case may be.
So this is going to be a good year just to see him, man, and see that he still got the love of the game. But I think that, unfortunately, the year went on. They didn't win it all, man. That was it for him, man, unfortunately. And I believe that this year he possibly walk off into the sunset.
Yep. Okay. People, don't sleep on the Houston Rockets. Don't sleep on this squad. If ever there was a time they was going to step up to that next level and potentially at least make it to the playing game, round of the playoffs for real, it's this year. They got enough young talent on that team to where I think it's their time to basically take that next step like Orlando did last year and step their game up. What you think, Hugh?
I thought that they was dangerous last year. They were so close to getting into the playoffs, man. They almost got to Golden State Warriors spot. What I liked about it was not only did he have young players, but he mixed in a couple of veteran people too, like the person we love to hate, Dylan. I forgot to do
Dylan Brooks, yes, sir.
Brooks. And you got Jalen Green over there, man. It's a lot of good pieces over there that you're going to have, and then you got one of the better coaches with young development talent, period, too. And Emi Udoka. So I really feel like that team's going to do well. They already was good as far as defense with Dylan Brooks and having some of the additional players that they put over there last year. But I just feel like he's going to elevate their game regardless, man. They didn't have to be the best team, period, for him to come over there to just start evaluating the talent. And I believe Houston's going to actually be okay because, like you said, Jalen Green, man, I wish that we ended up getting Jalen Green now.
I mean, long story short, if Houston was in the East, Houston would definitely be a playoff team. But because they're in the West, it's still shaky. But I think they're going to have enough to where they make it. Now, here's the two teams that I'm really not quite sure what we're going to do with. Team one, Memphis Grizzlies. Now, as we all know, we know the situation, okay? We know Ja's back. We already know all the mess that went on in the life of Ja these last few years, okay? It simply boils down to this. How bad, Ja, do you want it? Memphis still got them pieces on the squad. They still got Jackson. They still got all those guys. If Ja comes back and we get that Ja that we started to get before all the foolishness, Memphis going to be hell to deal with. If Ja basically decides, okay, I'm just going to kind of fade in the background, collect my dough, so on and so forth, then Memphis will probably do just enough to get in the playoffs, and that'll be that. Your thoughts on him, Hugh?
I like you said, I like Jaren Jackson Jr. I definitely like, Desmond Bain always been my boy, man. I was glad Brooks because I like the way he developed. And Zach Edey, I think he'll be serviceable, but I still feel like the whole job situation is going to be something to look forward to because he's going to have to stay out of trouble, man. And he's going to have to realize what Allen Iverson did was put a lot of the stuff behind him. Like, the people who you cool with, you're going to have to be cool with them and be cool with them and have love for them from a far distance, man. You have a career to look forward to, man. Don't ruin your career and do anything to damage your career over ill-advised stuff that you're doing or trying to be cool and trying to be tough and fit in with the in crowd. Do what you normally do best, man. You got a skill that I would have loved to have, man, and to be making money off of because I wouldn't definitely be squandering that right now. He needs to do better in that aspect and need to know who to be around and who not to be around.
Right. And like I said, a couple people have reached out to him and counseled him. People like Allen Iverson, people like Jalen Rose, who have spoken and said, okay, look, bro, I done been where you've been. Here's what I need you to do to get your life together. So hopefully you listen to those guys. Even D Rose, when he was on that squad, he helped mentor that dude a little bit too. So I'm hoping he listened. In the end, if it just come down to his play, he him already. We know that.
And it's been nice. Though, what we're going to get out of that team, though, that's my big.
Yeah, that's the thing. If they can keep him on the straight and narrow, and they work together, that team can go basically as far as there, because we didn't seen them do it. But if he becomes more of a distraction, and they have to work with the pieces ain't gonna get it done.
But remember when he was competing with Golden State, and they were the ones who was pushing them to the limit. And then all of a sudden, what happened with him, man, and it's damn near to the point where his career could be over if he don't get it together. But when that team's clicking on all cylinders, man, they're one of the more dangerous teams. And then plus you got a Marcus Smart over there now too. They didn't even really get a chance to really play with you like that neither. So I definitely feel like that team would be in the top at least 5 to 6 points.
Right, and the thing is, like, we can't just up and say, okay, it's definitely them because they got another team in that division That team is the New Orleans Pelicans. And I'm telling you, on a good night, the Pelicans look like they could beat anybody in the league. And I am very proud of Zion. We could tell based on what he looked like this year already. He has put in the work. He has kept the weight down. If he has been putting in that work in the gym as well and comes back better than he was last year before he got hurt, oh, yeah, New Orleans going to be all type of problems, okay? Because that's a good squad. That's a damn good squad. Even when you have Brandon Ingram in bits and pieces. But like I said, if Zion come back full Zion, they could almost even afford to get rid of Brandon Ingram, truthfully.
He's definitely been one of the people on the shopping market right now, man. He's been on the chopping block for like the last couple of years.
Right.
It depends on what they'll do with my man Zion. And Zion, if he can stay healthy and play.
Like I said, healthy Zion is one of the top 5 players in the league.
Because he plays like a big, and that's what you would need over there, man. But I still feel like if he can be healthy, then that will afford to them to do anything they could, get some draft capital with Ingram, but then with McCollum and all the other pieces that they have over there, man, I still think that they'll compete at a high level. They probably still would be one of them teams. I wouldn't really elevate them to the 5 seed. I would say between 6 through 8.
Yep. And then, of course, that leaves us with the last team, the team that actually won the West last year, the Dallas Mavericks. Okay. Remember, y'all, they did all this, and we come to find out not only was Luka not fully healthy during the play, but Kyrie wasn't fully healthy either in them finals. So if they both come back healthy and they add Klay, and we get what's left of Klay to really fully represent, along with them young dudes they got in the post, sky's the limit.
Yeah, but they'll only go as far as, and then, as far as Luka and Kyrie can take them, man, but like you said, they got a really good young talent now over there. Lively and the young guy that I've been seeing, that 7'2" dude, man, ferocious, man. And
yes.
I just really feel like that was a team that what I looked at last year, I was surprised that they lost the way they did. We all figured that it'll be a good series between them and Boston, but to lose how they did kind of shocked all of us. But I still feel like they're the team to beat over there. And then, like you said, man, with the addition of Klay, it's just how much Klay got left in the tank now.
Exactly.
Missing last year, and now they have it. So I want to see how he can elevate his game because, I don't know. Sometimes, man, when you feel like it, you're not wanted, and the team kind of play you to the side like they did with Klay, man, I feel like that's where his game ended up playing for, man. You can see it in his performance because he didn't give it his all, man. It wasn't like he was trying, but when you feel like you are not wanted somewhere, man, you basically feel that, man. And his game, it definitely showed too, man. And it's sad because I'm not saying he wasn't giving his all. It was just that, man, he just felt like no matter what I do, it's still not enough because even though they did play well and they went real far last year, man, but they still kept him over there. So he looking for it now with a chip on his shoulder, man. And I feel like,
and remember, we don't need Klay Thompson from back in the day, the 3P Klay Thompson. We just need a decent Klay Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't got to be the first. You ain't got to be second. Yeah, you ain't even got to be the third man on that squad. You just got to be a competent player. And I think Klay will give them that.
Shoot the open threes and play good D. And I feel like if he could do that, man, I still feel like Dallas would be between the 1 seed or the 2 seed at this point.
Yep. So, okay, y'all, we about to wrap it up soon. So let's get to it here. We already said who we think making the playoffs and all that. So bottom line, it's NBA Finals time next year. Who you think playing on the East and who you think playing in the West?
I'm going to go this year and shock people. I'm going to go OKC this year. And I'm going to say the OKC and the Celtics.
And my friend, I am in agreement with you. I, too, am going OKC and Celtics. And, yes, somehow, some way, I think Boston runs it back. I do. Of course, we all know the key to this whole season, as has been the last few years, who is going to stay healthy and who is not. Because based on that, that might change this whole scenario.
Absolutely. We might be
Yeah,
looking.
that being said, okay, we're gonna go with one more thing, then call it a day, folks. Who your MVP, Hugh?
I'm gonna go Luka this year.
I like that pick. I like that pick a lot. Me myself, yeah, of course, the easy pick would be go ahead and go with the big fellas again. I mean, the reason why it's not gonna be Embiid because he's not gonna play enough games to make it. The reason why it's not gonna be the other big fella because he already won it too many times. So unless he do something really outlandish, I can't see him winning it again. So I think this year, the man who probably should have won last year gonna win this year. That's gonna be your man SGA, Gilchrist Alexander. That's who I got for MVP.
Okay, I like that.
So all right, y'all, that is our preview. Let us know what you think in the comments and whatnot. We will be chiming in. Of course, we can pre-record this part, but yeah, you know.
Hold up.
Join us for Night Modes tonight on Nighthawk Network Radio.
On Blog Talk Radio or where most great music podcasts are located. Don't forget to subscribe and show some love.
Chime in at the end and let y'all know what's good. Hugh will let you know where he is going to be found and whatnot. Basically, we're going to post all that this time. In the future, we're going to have a nice little tight little video for y'all to check out and whatnot. That way we can go ahead and show it to you that way. Plus, we probably going to throw that on our other platforms so you know what's good. But in the meanwhile, we thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. We'll be back with the new show, which is the old show, but the new show. In other words, remember last week when we said we was going to change the name because we got tired of saying that mouthful? We going back to how it was before. It's going to be the Sports Gurus Sports Session. Plain and simple. Nice to the point. And we will be back tomorrow to talk about the usual NFL and all the other good stuff, okay? So thank y'all for tuning in. Any final words, Hugh?
No, sir, man. Y'all all have a blessed one, man. And this year, man, it'll be really good to see what goes on in the NBA too, man. Definitely gonna be keeping an extra eye out on the 76ers, man, for Pride, man. Definitely hope they do well this season.
Yeah, rest in peace, Pride. You know, I really wish you could have been a part of this episode. You know, it always would have been good to have your input. But anyway, we know you checking on us from up above, my brother. Anyway, we is headed out. You know what to do, Hugh. Throw up the fingers, baby.